quality. It's one of those things, right? We all know it when we see it, but how do you actually measure it? How do you turn that feeling of quality into cold, hard science? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're breaking down the 10 key metrics that can transform quality from just a vague goal into a real, powerful engine for business success. Let's dive in. So, really, what is the secret? I mean, how does some companies just nail it time and time again? Think about it. Is it just magic? Some kind of obsessive company culture? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it, but trust me, it goes way deeper than that. You know, the real secret is measurement. It's that simple. There's an old saying, you can't improve what you don't measure, and it is absolutely true. See, consistent quality comes from turning every single step of your process into a number, a key performance indicator that tells you exactly where you stand. It's all about swapping out guesswork for hard data. Okay, so our journey is going to start where the product is actually born, right there, inside the factory. Before anything even gets close to a customer, we have to check the health of the production process itself. Think of these first few metrics as the vital signs for your entire manufacturing line. First up, we've got the most obvious sign that there's trouble, your scrap rate. This is just pure, unadulterated waste. It's the raw material you paid for but had to throw out. It's the half-finished product that just didn't make the cut. A high scrap rate is, and I mean this literally, just money going straight into the trash bin. Next, there's something called the Process Capability Index, or CPK for short. Now, think of this as a kind of health check for a specific process. Are you just barely squeaking by, staying within your quality targets? Or are you hitting a perfect bullseye every single time? A high CPK tells you that your process is stable, it's predictable, and it's consistently hitting that target. And now, for the big one, overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE. Look, if you could only have one single number to grade your machinery, this would be it. OEE is basically the ultimate report card that tells you how much value you're really getting out of all that expensive equipment. So what's so cool about OEE is how it works. It isn't just one thing. It's actually three crucial factors multiplied together. First off, you've got availability. I mean, is the machine even running when it's supposed to be? Then there's performance. Is it running as fast as it possibly can? And finally, quality. Of all the parts it's making, how many are actually good enough to use? Here's the kicker. A low score in just one of these areas will absolutely crush your overall OEE score. All right, so the product is officially off the assembly line. Now what? Well, now we move to the next critical stage, quality control. This is that moment of truth, you know? It's where we inspect what we've made and we grade our own work before a customer ever lays eyes on it. And here, we're looking at two sides of the very same coin. On one side, you have your defect rate. That tells you what went wrong, the percentage of your products that straight up failed inspection. But on the other side, we have my personal favorite, first pass yield. This is a measure of pure perfection. What percentage of your stuff was made perfectly the very first time with no fixes, no rework, no second chances? Now that is a powerful number. Okay, let's talk money. Because quality, or, a lack of it, has a very, very real price tag. The cost of quality, or COQ, isn't just about what it costs when things break. No. It's the total financial picture of your entire quality system, the good and the bad. And what's so important to get here is that COQ really tells a story of investment versus loss. First, you've got your prevention costs. That's the smart money you spend on things like planning and training to stop problems before they even start. Then you have appraisal costs, which is the price of being vigilant, things like inspections and testing. But if all that fails, you get hit with the most painful one, failure costs. That's the direct financial hit from scrap, rework, and of course, customer returns. And this number right here just drives the point home. In this one example, when you add up the costs of prevention, appraisal, and failure, you get a total cost of quality of $30,000. That's not an abstract concept. That is a real, tangible number that gets everybody's attention, from the person on the factory floor all the way up to the CEO's office. So far, every metric we've talked about has been about looking inward, at our own processes. But now, the product is finally out in the wild. It's in the hands of the most important judge of them all, the customer. This is the final stage, where our idea of quality meets reality. And often the very first thing a customer judges isn't the product itself, it's whether it showed up when you promised it would.
On-time delivery is absolutely a quality metric. Think about it. A perfect product that arrives 2 weeks late can feel like a complete failure to that customer. At the end of the day, everything we've measured so far, it all leads to this moment. All those internal numbers are really just a prediction. The customer's feedback, that's the final result. Their voice, whether it's through praise or complaints, is the ultimate measure of your success. And we listen to that voice in a few really important ways. This trifecta here shows an escalating level of unhappiness. It starts with simple customer complaints, but it gets a lot more serious with the return rate. That's when people don't just complain, they actually send the product back. And finally, you have the most costly of all, the warranty claims rate, which is a clear measure of a pretty significant product failure. So there you have it. We've journeyed from raw materials on the factory floor all the way to the customer's home. But the real power here isn't in any single one of these metrics, not at all. It's in seeing how they all connect to tell one complete, cohesive story. I want you to think of it like a dashboard for your business. Over here, you've got your indicators for production health. They tell you if your engine is running smoothly. Then you have your product grade, which is like the report card for what you actually made. And finally, over here, you have the customer verdict. That's the final score of the game. So please, remember this. These aren't just abstract numbers on some spreadsheet. They are the pulse, the blood pressure, the actual temperature of your entire operation. Monitoring them is how you diagnose problems early on, long before they become critical. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Looking at this whole dashboard, from the inside of the factory to the customer's front door, if you had to pick just one of these metrics to start tracking tomorrow to improve your business, which one would it be? And more importantly, what would that choice say about where your real priorities lie?